Good evening and welcome to the news tonight, your one stop for the day's top stories. Here are the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi visits Himalayan shrine of Kedarnath in Uttarakhand, lays the foundation stone for slew of reconstruction projects in Kedarpuri. A day after Diwali, Delhi and its suburbs wake up to a blanket of smog. The city's air quality takes a sharp plunge and enters the severe zone. US Secretary of State Rex Tillerson to visit India next week for his first bilateral interaction. It will be his first trip after American President Donald Trump enunciated his policy statement on South Asia. And Spain's King Felipe meets the European Union Parliament President Antonio Tajani. Meeting comes amid moves by the government in Madrid to impose central rule over Catalonia. A day after meeting soldiers of the Indian Army in Jammu and Kashmir on the occasion of Diwali, Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited the Kedarnath shrine on Friday. He offered prayers at the temple and also laid the foundation stone of 5 major reconstruction projects at Kedarpuri, and said that his visit to the temple strengthened his resolve to serve the nation.
The Kedarnath temple in Uttarakhand decked up to welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Prime Minister arrived at the shrine on Friday morning, a day before it closes for winter. He offered prayers and performed the Rudrabhishek before addressing a gathering. The Prime Minister pledged to devote himself to realizing the dream of a developed India by 2022, the year that marks 75 years of India's freedom from British rule.
आज फिर एक बार यहां से संकल्पबद्ध होकर के यहां से नई ऊर्जा को प्राप्त कर करके भोले बाबा के आशीर्वाद लेकर के पूर्ण पवित्र मन से दृढ़ संकल्प से 2022 भारत की आजादी के 75 साल हर हिंदुस्तानी का संकल्प, हर हिंदुस्तानी के दिल में दुनिया में हिंदुस्तान को सिर मोर पहुंचाने की इरादा, बाबा के आशीर्वाद से हर हिंदुस्तानी में वो चेतना जगेगी। हर हिंदुस्तानी उस संकल्प को पार करने के लिए जी जान से जुटेगा। इस श्रद्धा के साथ
The Prime Minister also laid the foundation stone of 5 major reconstruction projects at Kedarpuri. These include improved facilities for devotees, construction of retaining walls and ghats at the Mandakini and Saraswati rivers, an approach road to the temple, and reconstructing Adi Guru Shankaracharya's shrine that was devastated in the 2013 floods. Describing the projects as ambitious and expensive, the Prime Minister assured there will be no dearth of funds and they will be completed in a time-bound manner. Modi also attacked the opposition Congress for refusing his offer in 2013 to help in the reconstruction of the Kedarnath temple town after the flash floods.
मैंने उस समय के सरकार से प्रार्थना की थी कि आप गुजरात सरकार को और गुजरात को केदारनाथ के पुनर्निर्माण का काम दे दीजिए। जैसा देशवासियों का सपना होगा मैं पूरा कर दूंगा। जब कमरे में हम बैठे थे तब उस समय के मुख्यमंत्री सहमत हो गए। अचानक टीवी पे खबर आ गई कि मोदी अब केदारनाथ के पुनर्निर्माण की जिम्मेवारी ले रहा है, तो पता नहीं दिल्ली में तूफान मच गया। उनको लगा है ये गुजरात का मुख्यमंत्री अगर केदारनाथ भी पहुंच जाएगा, 1 घंटे के भंटर ऐसा तूफान खड़ा हो गया कि राज्य सरकार पे दबाव आया और राज्य सरकार को अधिकृत रूप से घोषणा करनी पड़ी कि हमें गुजरात की मदद की जरूरत नहीं है, हम कर देंगे।
This was Prime Minister Modi's second visit to Kedarnath this year. He visited the temple in May when it reopened for devotees after remaining closed for 6 months for winter. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The Supreme Court ban on the sale of firecrackers didn't seem to have any effect on pollution post-Diwali this year. Smog and pollution levels shot above normal levels in several regions of the national capital. Some places even recorded a hike more than 24 times the average. The situation was similar in Gurugram, Noida and Ghaziabad, where crackers were burst as usual.
The day after Diwali, Delhi and its suburbs woke up to a blanket of smog this morning, indicating a spike in air pollution levels. Despite the Supreme Court's ban on their sale, firecrackers were freely burst across the city on Thursday. As a result, the city's air quality took a sharp plunge and entered the severe zone on Friday. Some places recorded a steep hike in pollution levels with more than 24 times the average level. Residents complained of eye-watering and aggravated coughs as level of PM10 and PM2.5, the two deadliest components of air pollution, rose alarmingly.
आँखों में मिर्च जैसी जलन हो रही है और है ना सांस लेने में कठिनाई हो रही है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जो आदेश से ऐसा लग रहा है कि है ना प्रदूषण है ना आधा या 3/4 हुआ है, परंतु प्रदूषण अभी इतना है कि है ना मानव अभी रह नहीं सकता।
We have been looking at the data, air quality data from 13 monitoring stations of Central Pollution Control Board and Delhi Pollution Control Committee since last morning. And it's a very interesting trend that we're beginning to notice. During the day of Diwali, the pollution levels were pretty much under control. They were hovering around poor level. And that was in fact better than the levels we have seen during the day of the previous Diwali. But during night, especially after 10 p.m., we have started to see massive buildup of pollution and in almost all areas. And today in the morning, the levels have hit the severe level.
However, the Met Office said the situation was better in Delhi than last year due to favorable climatic conditions. While last year on Diwali Day, the Central Pollution Control Board's air quality index had a value of 431 per cubic meter. This year it was 319 per cubic meter, but still in a very poor range. Meanwhile, the situation was similar, if not worse, in neighboring regions of Delhi like Gurugram, Noida and Ghaziabad.
Despite the ban, if people are not able to understand, despite the ban, if the government doesn't have a political will, we need to do a little more. Because we can't afford to live in a situation like this. In any other part of the world, if our air quality index would have crossed 300, the entire city would be evacuated or the entire city would be shut down. We have to look at short-term, medium-term and long-term measures.
The news of increasing pollution comes in the backdrop of a study released by the Lancet Medical Journal that says pollution is killing millions of people worldwide. Most of these deaths are caused by diseases like heart conditions, strokes and lung cancer. The study found that almost all of these deaths occurred in low and middle income countries, including India, Pakistan, Bangladesh and Somalia. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi greeted Gujaratis across the world on the beginning of their new year. In fact, Gujaratis marked the start of a new year a day after Diwali. In a tweet, Modi hoped that the coming year will bring happiness and prosperity and lead to fulfillment of aspirations of the people. In more national news, Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister Veerbhadra Singh filed his nomination papers from Arki Vidhan Sabha constituency in Solan district today. Singh had vacated the Shimla seat for his son Vikramaditya Singh and shifted to Arki. This is for the fourth time that the 83-year-old Congress leader has shifted his constituency. He is hopeful that Vikramaditya will get to contest from Shimla Rural, which he represented. After filing his nomination papers, Singh said that he had already announced that his plans would be to contest from a seat where the Congress has not won for the past 2 decades. He said that the Congress will contest the upcoming elections on development plank and return to power with comfortable majority.
मैंने देखा कि अर्की की सीट जो है पिछले कई वर्षों से कांग्रेस जीत नहीं रही है, तो मैंने चुनाव से पहले ही मैंने मन बना दिया था कि मैं अर्की की सीट से चुनाव लड़ूंगा और यहाँ विजय हासिल होगी.
Gujarat Chief Minister Vijay Rupani today hit out at the Congress leader P. Chidambaram for his criticism of the Election Commission. Rupani said that the opposition party is scared of the upcoming polls in the BJP-ruled state. Earlier, Chidambaram had criticized the Election Commission for not announcing election dates for the Gujarat Assembly election, and he also said that by not announcing to do so, The EC has authorized Prime Minister Narendra Modi to declare the dates at his last rally. The former Finance and Home Minister also claimed that the EC will be recalled from its extended holiday after the Gujarat government announces what he claimed its concessions and freebies. The EC had on the 12th of October announced that polling for the assembly elections in Himachal Pradesh will take place on the 9th of November, but held off announcing the Gujarat schedule. And here are more updates from across the country in Nationwide. A depression over the Bay of Bengal caused heavy overnight rain in West Bengal. The Met Department has forecast more downpour, raising the possibility of a flood-like situation in the coastal areas. It also warned of squally winds with speeds reaching up to 45 to 55 kilometers per hour along the West Bengal coast till this evening. Solicitor General Ranjit Kumar, the country's second highest law officer, resigned for personal reasons. The Office of Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad received his resignation letter today. He was appointed Solicitor General in June 2014 after the Modi government came to power. His second term was renewed recently. Senior lawyer K.K. Venugopal has now been appointed the new Attorney General. DMK Working President M.K. Stalin will undertake a statewide tour starting the first week of November to strengthen the party and explain people the failures of the AIADMK government in Tamil Nadu. A decision to this effect was taken at the party district secretaries meeting held at the party headquarters today. A quick break here. Still ahead, the top international stories.
Cashew nut, what we call otherwise a kaju, is exported by India even today and consumed within the country also substantially. I'm talking about the liquid from the shell, which is very harmful, very corrosive. If you're not careful, it will blind you. The use of cashew nut shell liquid to print microelectronic circuits has given me immense joy.
Watch Eureka with Dr. S.V. Ishwaran, Emeritus Professor, Regional Centre for Biotechnology, Faridabad, only on Rajya Sabha TV.
Jade was popular during Mughal era and gained prominence during Akbar's rule in 15th and 16th century. It came all the way from Iran and Central Asia in attractive colors. The royalty had a unique use for it. Since jade changed color when it came in contact with arsenic, they started utensils like plates, jars, bowls, and even hookah with it. Thereby avoided getting poisoned by rivals.
Welcome back. Let's give you some international news. And in fact, US Secretary of State Rex Tillerson will be visiting India next week on his first bilateral interaction with President Donald Trump. Made his first policy statement on South Asia. Tillerson will also visit Pakistan to persuade India's neighbour to fulfill the obligations on terrorism. India has welcomed Tillerson's plans and hopes that the US's new policies will help consolidate the bilateral partnership in the long run.
US Secretary of State Rex Tillerson will visit India on the 24th of October as part of his week-long visit to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Switzerland and Pakistan. His visit to India and Pakistan will coincide with President Donald Trump's announcement of a South Asia policy in which he indicated greater cooperation with India, while blaming Pakistan for harboring terrorists and creating safe havens for them. Trump's intentions to cooperate with India was further quantified by Rex Tillerson, who said that India and the US should oppose China's illegal international practices. Indian External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Ravish Kumar said there is positive understanding between the two countries. Experts see it a new beginning in realistic relations between both nations. The MEA spokesperson said, and I quote, "The US Secretary has made a significant policy statement on India-US relations and its future. He brought out its various strengths and highlighted our shared commitment to a rule-based international order. We appreciate his positive evaluation of the relationship and share his optimism about its future directions. We look forward to welcoming him in India next week for detailed discussions on further strengthening of our partnership," unquote.
While President Trump is going to Japan, Southeast Asia and China next month, Tillerson is coming here. So India is going to be in the focus of United States of America as a great partner just after Xi Jinping's speech.
China seems unnerved by Tillerson's recent statements about India and the US articulation of its South Asia policy. China said the relations between India and China should be for peace and stability in the region.
我们说过，我们乐见美国跟印度，乐见世界上所有国家都能够发展正常的国家关系。只要这样的一种关系，它是有利于促进地区的和平稳定发展，有利于增进地区国家之间的互信。
Significantly, Tillerson will visit Pakistan before India so that he can discuss issues related to Pakistan in entirety with India, overturning the former practice of visiting India before Pakistan. It also marks a change in the way oldest and biggest democracies are going to conduct their relations in future.
American quest for India seems real because China and Pakistan are playing negative role in Asia-Pacific region. But it will be interesting to see that how far America can become alternative to China for India as far as goods and services are concerned. The real alliance between India and America will also depend on this realistic factor. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Television with camera person Manoj in Delhi.
Giving the Indo-Russian defense cooperation a major boost, exercise Indra 2017, the first ever tri-services joint exercise between Indian and Russian armed forces, began on Thursday in the eastern military district of Russia near Vladivostok. Exercise in its previous 9 editions has been conducted as a single service exercise alternately between the two countries. But the year 2017 marks a major milestone as this exercise has been upgraded to involve all the 3 services of the armed forces, the Army, Navy and Air Force, which further accentuates the importance of joint services in the present world scenario. The Indian contingent will comprise of 350 personnel from the Army, 80 from the Air Force, 2 IL-76 aircraft and 1 frigate and corvette each from the Navy. Meanwhile, the Russian Federation Armed Forces will be represented by approximately 1,000 troops of the 5th Army, Marines and ships of Pacific Fleet and aircraft from Eastern Military District. In more news from the US, 2 former presidents voiced concern about the current political climate in the country. Barack Obama and George W. Bush offered sharp criticism of the politics of division and fear being witnessed in the US. Their comments are being seen as a veiled rebuke to Donald Trump's leadership.
Former US President Barack Obama was back on the campaign trail for the first time since leaving the White House. Venturing out to support Democrats in 2 governors' races, Obama offered a sharp criticism of the current political climate in the US. Without naming current President Donald Trump, the former president said the country is witnessing the politics of division.
Instead of our politics reflecting our values, we've got politics infecting our communities. Instead of looking for ways to work together and get things done in a practical way, we've got folks who are deliberately trying to make folks angry, to demonize people who have different ideas, to get the base all riled up because it provides a short-term tactical advantage.
Speaking at a campaign event in New Jersey, Obama said Americans should send a message to the world that they are rejecting a politics of division and a politics of fear.
At a time when our politics just seems so divided and so angry and so nasty, is whether we can recapture that spirit, whether we support and embrace somebody who wants to bring people together. Yes, we can. We can do that. Look, I've always believed in that kind of politics.
Coincidentally, another former President, George Bush, also rebuked Donald Trump on the same day. In a separate, unrelated appearance, Bush warned that the U.S. was being torn apart by ancient hatred.
We've seen our discourse degraded by casual cruelty. At times, it can seem like the forces pulling us apart are stronger than the forces binding us together. Argument turns too easily into animosity. Disagreement escalates into dehumanization. Bigotry seems emboldened. Our politics seems more vulnerable to conspiracy theories and outright fascism.
Traditionally, former presidents shy away from commenting publicly on their successes. Perhaps for this very reason, both Obama and Bush did not name the current president in their respective speeches. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And here are some updates from across the world in Global Buzz. U.S. President Donald Trump's drive to overhaul the U.S. tax code cleared a critical hurdle on Thursday. The Senate approved a budget blueprint for the 2018 fiscal year that will allow Republicans to pursue a tax cut package without Democratic support. By a 51-49 vote, the Republican-controlled Senate approved the budget measure that will add up to $1.5 trillion to the federal deficit over the next decade. Pakistan's ousted Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif was indicted by an anti-graft court in a third corruption case related to flagship investments and other offshore companies on Friday. The Accountability Court charged Sharif in absentia for holding assets beyond his known sources of income. It was one of the 3 cases of corruption and money laundering registered by the National Accountability Bureau against Nawaz Sharif. Pakistan started building a fence along the Pak-Afghan border. According to the Pakistani army, the fence and guard posts will help prevent future militant attacks. Before the border management was put in place, there was free, unchecked movement of people along the Pakistan-Afghanistan border. Iraqi forces took control of Altun Kupri, the last district in the oil-rich province of Kirkuk, which was still in the hands of Kurdish Peshmerga fighters after a 3-hour-long battle on Friday. The advance on Altun Kupri began earlier this morning with forces comprising US-trained Iraqi counter-terrorism service units, Iranian-backed Popular Mobilization, and the federal police. And now let's get you all the updates from the world of sports in Sports Beat. In badminton, Indian shuttler H.S. Pranoy defeated 3-time Olympic silver medalist Lee Chong-wei on Thursday to enter the quarterfinals of the Denmark Open Super Series Premier Tournament at Odense. Pranoy defeated Lee 21-17, 11-21, 21-19. World number 8 Kidambi Shrikant also progressed to the quarterfinals with a 21-13, 8-21, 21-18 win over South Korea's Jun Hok-jin. In the women's singles, Saina Nehwal defeated Thailand's Ninchao Jindapol 22-20, 21-13 to make it to the last 8. India beat Malaysia 6-2 in the Asia Cup hockey tournament in Dhaka on Thursday. India went on the offense from the beginning, while Malaysia opened their account in the final quarter and scored 2 goals. Goals from Akashdeep Singh, Harmanpreet Singh, S.K. Uttappa, Gurjant Singh, S.V. Sunil and Sardar Singh sealed the game for India. It will now face Pakistan on Saturday. In tennis, Germany's Julia George and Russia's Natalia Vikliantseva won their Kremlin Cup quarter-final matches on Thursday to set up a semi-final against each other. 7-seeded George defeated Ukraine's Lesia Surenko 6-3, 6-4. Vikliantseva then defeated France's Alice Cornet 467563. In golf, Justin Thomas slipped out of the lead after a 2 over 74 at the 9 Bridges course of Jeju Island in the CJ Cup. Luke List earned his maiden PGA Tour win after a 67 gave him the lead on 9 under, while Lucas Glover also carded a 67 to sit a stroke off the pace with Scott Brown. FedEx Cup champion Thomas was let down by 3 early bogeys. Thomas shared 4th position on 7 with Cameron Smith. And finally, thousands of people turned out to watch the fireworks display marking Diwali Day in the England city of Leicester. Leicester holds one of the largest Diwali festivals in the world outside India due to its British Indian community. We're leaving you now with these visuals.